Mamuina Aquaba at the bank activity for any concoction the Accra High Court. Now come with be some few days be per native papa former President John Dramani Mahama have sworn in as the president of the land. And it's a judge penny I share Mammy ECJ Mensakitins on share now other places some year regulation, almost no regulation and crofono now. MPs na de aden koko pim awon mrashibidi fina bibia etefu enkonko todwa eya no kwa sna mamunim no NDC amanyukun asanso lusu one seat to the MPP into the no ko hwe mrashibidi fia honom butu pa etefu anya asem ketwa anka police for the team ko pim wo the Accra High Court anka etefu anka anaka ya anti asem de enu nti asem bi pina ko tie sama ye mame judge ni pani edi todwa medamu ina as
officer. What this means, in short, is that the EC has been directed by the court to go back to Tema and collate the two outstanding polling stations and then properly declare a winner of the Tema Central constituency. This then also came, or let me say, the court also ordered a certain security measure relative to this direction or this order. The Inspector General of Police (IGP) is directed to provide adequate security at the designated collation center to ensure a safe and conducive environment for the EC to perform its duty. This, in short, is what you have the NPP team behind me celebrating so gladly and hugely, as though the entirety of the matter has been resolved. What we have here, though, whereas it is expected, or some expected, that the judge will take the ruling mutatis mutandis, the legal term or the Latin word for consolidated ruling, the arguments put forward before the judge were taken in isolation or individually, and for that matter, the judge also went went ahead to bring his ruling according to the way the arguments were brought before him. And so we have had that for the Tema Central come through. Let me, as I mentioned earlier, give you a brief overview of what a mandamus application seeks to establish or seeks to achieve. For an application for mandamus to succeed, the applicant must satisfy the following 5 conditions: existence of a duty, public nature of the duty, demand for performance, refusal to perform, and then proof of prejudice. It appears as though this has been established, or these 5 components has been well satisfied in the case of the Tema Central constituency, and therefore the judge, having satisfied himself with the various arguments put forward, has directed the EC to go back to the Tema Central constituency, and recollate or collate the 2 outstanding polling stations, bring everything together, and pronounce or declare who the rightful winner of that constituency is. The court also directed the IGP to provide safe, security, and conducive environment for same. And this suddenly has brought a certain eruption among NPP sympathizers and supporters who turned up in their numbers at this court to suddenly chant the party's anthem relative to the elephant, and also they localized Eshi, and this so far is what we have currently. We're waiting for that of the Ablekumo North, that of Techiman South, and that of Okankwe Central. Gifty, what I have gathered from some of these supporters here, some who seem to be satisfied with the way things are going, is that these 4 constituencies could go a 3-1, a 2-2, or a 4-0. And either way, they express satisfaction that indeed, whichever way it goes, the court has spoken. Whether the candidates themselves will take it that way, that the court has spoken, or whatever remedy there exists currently for them to take it up further, in which case I would refer to the Honorable Roxy Nelson Dafamapo, who spoke to me a few days ago and argued that, or pointed out that it would not be the end if at any point they feel or they see established that it has not gone their way satisfactorily, the Court of Appeal is there for them to approach. Whether that will be a move they will make, we stand or we await the final outcome of the 3 outstanding constituencies, being the Okaikoi Central, the Ablekuma North, and then the Techima South. We know for a certainty that Tema Central has received a go back, recollate, and declare. And the order to the IGP provides security and ensure a conducive environment. I am not sure if the crowd you have behind me, being a mix of the various parties, would want to speak. But one thing I can tell you for a certainty, that the NDC supporters behind the gate have also seen a need to start up a certain chanting, and what they're doing is not to chant the party slogan or party's anthem, but what they're doing essentially is blowing the vuvuzelas. And trust me, the security services are on hand to ensure that there is decency and sanity in the way they celebrate. I would, my camera would pan round slightly and take the gate for us so that you will have a certain feel of what it is. Well, when the NPP started celebrating, I saw some NDC members signaling those at the gate to also take it up and chant their slogans themselves. We were not sure if that would be the case, but for the vuvuzelas, most definitely they are blowing their vuvuzelas. Let me go up there and see if I could grab one NPP person and see if I could get an interview briefly from him or her and see what he or she will say. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. This is GBC News.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Not too long ago, your people went up in a certain jubilation. What accounted for that?
The reason why we're jubilating is that the court has ruled that we should go for, as we normally say, the recollation. And we know vividly that whenever the recollation has been done, the victory will go for us. That's the reason why the jubilating is ongoing.
Not too long ago, one of your colleagues, who is also of the MPP stock, mentioned that this, in the way they're looking at it, could go a 3-1, a 2-2, or a 4-0. We only have one, and so maybe one of their predictions would come through. What if, as we see it, it didn't go 3-1 in your favor, but it actually goes 3-1 against you?
No, this one, as you were saying, my colleagues were saying, it will go into our favor, because we know the work we've done, we know what we've get into, and we know what we have. So the 3-1 is going to be possible.
Well, the best of luck to you, and we are around to see how this whole thing will end and how your celebrations will eventually end. All the best of luck to you. And so that's a member of the NPP who's just expressed how his expectations will be relative to this mandamus application. For those of you who are just joining us on GBC News, the court has ruled first of all, on the mandamus application by the NPP relative to the Tema Central constituency. The EC has been directed to go back and recollate the 2 outstanding polling stations. The IGP has been directed to provide adequate security and a conducive environment for same to be carried out. Indeed, the NPP has successfully argued that there is a duty on the EC or of the EC to perform, and there is also a need for that to be carried in order that they would not be prejudiced in the election